So I've prepared a presentation, and I think it's always important to differentiate for the audience the type of flooding we're talking about. Most people think about river flooding, they think about coastal flooding, but we're talking specifically about urban flooding or pluvial flooding. So this is the type of flooding like we saw in Toronto in 2013 or in Windsor in 2016, where we have very, very intense rainfall that's falling on the ground in an urban area faster than the municipal stormwater or wastewater can convey that water away. And so what we find is that flooding is distributed throughout the entire area that's affected by the rain. It's not confined to river floodplain areas. And on this map, we have shaded areas that indicate the official government floodplains. And then the black dots are locations where there are insurance losses for sewer backup. You can see the black dots are distributed throughout the area that was affected by rain. So that's the kind of flooding we're talking about protecting homes from today. We focus on this kind of flooding because it's such a prominent cause of loss in Canada. It's one of the most important drivers of loss. Basement flooding, also we focus on homes because most of the flood losses for basement flooding is caused to residential properties as opposed to commercial properties. So we focus on homes and on urban areas. So I have a few different scenarios for basement flooding. Most homeowners see flooding, it looks like this. It's water in the basement, they don't know where it came from. And it's very hard to sort of distinguish where the flooding came from. And so we tend to focus on the most important measures that protect homes against most types of flooding. And I'll talk about those in a minute. This is the most common cause of flooding in most homes is bad lock rating, poor lock rating. And this is an example where you've got a basement stairwell outside of the building. Everything is gridded toward the home. Water's going in through a door. Very, very common cause of flooding. This is also a very common cause of flooding. This is sewer backup. This is the type of flooding you get when the municipal sewer system has become overwhelmed with excess water and the water flow starts to reverse or surcharge into homes. And this is a very distressing kind of flooding for homeowners when they experience it. While it's happening, there's not much you can do about it. I wouldn't even advise that people go into basements and take this kind of film, but we have this one to show people. And so the three primary recommendations we have at ICLR to reduce the risk of basement flooding are, number one, good drainage, good lock rating, good drainage around the building. Number two, protecting the building against sewer backup, backwater protection. And then number three is good foundation drainage, good drainage systems inside the building, sump pump, backup power for sump pumps, and so on. And so we also have online animations to give a better indication of what this looks like. So first we have side grading, good side grading or lock grading, very pronounced slope directly next to the foundation wall, all sloped toward receiving system for the municipality, swales, surface drainage systems. We have backwater valves, so this is to demonstrate normal flow or the location of the backwater valve. Normally water flows out of the house through the sewer lateral towards the city street, but as I mentioned before, under extreme rainfall scenarios, the city sewer system becomes overwhelmed and water can back up into the home. The valve is there to protect your home when water backs up from that system. And then finally, weeping tile systems. So most homes built after about 1950 will have a perforated pipe located under the ground around the basement footing, and that pipe is there to direct groundwater seepage from the surface away from the foundation. In many older homes, typically from about 1970 to 1985, the weeping tiles were connected to sanitary sewers, and that contributed to those sewers becoming overwhelmed and causing sewer backup. So a common recommendation in most municipalities is that you disconnect those weeping tiles from the city sewer system, and you install a sump pump and you pump that water out of your building with the sump pump and make sure that water doesn't go into the municipal system. And then our models here demonstrate those three primary methods of protecting homes.